Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand final edition of the RDFNL Netball Show. It's been a long month. We've done more netball shows in this month than we've done for the season pretty much, but fair to say that it is coming on strongly because we've had some fantastic feedback in the last couple of weeks about our netball show, which really makes us appreciate you guys watching us each and every week throughout this final series and each month throughout the season so far. Sean Kelly's my name. Joining me, as she does every week at this time of the year, is AFL Goldfields netball manager Kim Bailey. It's finally here, grand final week, Kimmy.
Yep, finally, Sean. Really, really excited. We had a big thing planned for today, but the weather has played havoc. And we just can't get outside and do something, so you're stuck with us
And trust me, we did have it planned. For those that may have seen the BFNL Netball Show in the last couple of years for the Ballarat Footy League, we've had all sorts of comedy skits over the last couple of years. We filmed from the grand final court and everything like that. We had all of that planned. And then the weather turned on us and we cannot get outside at the moment. So we're inside, but we do have some special features throughout the show. We're speaking with representatives from both A-grade grand final teams throughout the show. The Macedon coach and, of course, the 2016 Ryan medalist Ciara Stewart will be on the show later on, as will reigning premiership coach and now Riddell captain Lauren Close. So very much looking forward to chatting with both of those girls. Yeah,
both superstars of our competition. Loz was also runner-up to Ryan medal as well, team of the year, MVP of the year. And Ciara's had a great season, Coach of the Year, Ryan medalist. And now they're both in the grand final, so they've had unbelievable seasons.
They have indeed. I suppose before we start looking at this week, we do have a talking point from the last week to speak about, of course, being the preliminary final. And Macedon, very strong win in the end against Rupertswood. And it's probably fair to say that we didn't see the magnitude of this win coming.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Look, if you put it into perspective, Rupertswood have sat on top of the tree all year. They have that much depth in their team that, to be honest with you, I thought they most probably would have been red-hot favourites from the start. And I think I've said that. So they'd be absolutely shattered with what happened on the weekend. It didn't really even look like they came out to play compared to Macedon. Macedon were ready, they were aimed, they had a structure in place and they went for it. They played a short, concise game. There wasn't too much set play. It was all, as I said, it was all that short, sharp, get through the ball, get through the box that Rupo continually set up. And I think that actually worked against Rupo, where they did the wall to a box constantly, and there wasn't enough change up there where Macedon got through it. So
do you think they thought that the game plan that had served them well all season and the depth of the talent they had that would just get them through?
Yeah, I think so. They had a couple of big outs as well, and that's no disrespect to Macedon. They were awesome, but Stacey Naldi didn't play, as well as Kirsten Daly. So they're
two VNL players.
Yeah, they are. Well, one's a champ player, and Kirsten was named in the VNL Team of the Year 51. So absolutely massive outs, but their depth can make up for those two losses, two people. So they still had an absolutely awesome team up there, but. Tana Burnett was sensational. Such a young kid, and she really stood up. She got knocked around a bit in the 19s and rebounded. Chelsea Kemp, a tiny little dot of a girl in the centre, and she was just a rocket ship. I think she ran out of legs about half time, and they put her out because she just ran and ran and ran. And then Janelle Birch in defence just shut every option that Di put on for Rupertswood. She shut down. Lots of changes from the Rupertswood team, whether they unsettled or not a lot, but. CityLink Moore, who came on. CityLink, that's what I call it. CityLink came on, and she was amazing. Had a really good game. Sid did. So she changed the structure a little bit. In the last quarter, I think Rupo were only 4 goals or 5 goals down, and I thought, hello, here we go. Here we go. And I expect them to run over the top with them because of their fitness. But Macedon was superb. The guts and the glory they showed. Their crowd was amazing. And I even think that came into it a little bit. Rupertswood had the one team there where normally they've got this massive following. They had one team there. They didn't have the support from the crowd as Macedon did. They were massive. The noise that Macedon was generating was amazing, and all that helps. Commiserations to Rupo. Again, one that got away, really. It shouldn't have got away, but it did. But Macedon deserved to be there with that awesome performance they put out on the court. 100%
deserved to be there. Well done to the Macedon girls. As we look now, Kimmy, towards the biggest day of the season, the grand final day, our Western Water grand finals throughout the RDFL. We started off with the 19 and under game at the start of the day between Rupert's Wood and Macedon. Should be a pretty good game to start off with some of the best young players in the league featuring.
Yeah, and this Rupo have been the form team all year. I don't think they've dropped a game. Absolutely awesome. Strength all over the court. I think, although Macedon will have Tana Burnett playing for them, I still think that they'll be far too strong, and they deserve to be red-hot favourites this game, Rupo. I think Rupo will get a win.
C grade, it's Rupert's Wood versus Riddell. Again, the Rupert's Wood girls coming straight in from a second semi-final.
Yeah, really interesting game, this one. Lots of experience in the Riddell lineup. Jane Close, who won C grade, has been awesome as well. Lots of mixture of experience for the Rupo team. This one could go either way. I'm actually going for a bit of an upset here. I'm going for Riddell.
Interesting. I like it. We can ask you exactly the same question in the B grade game as well, because once again, it's Rupert's Wood taking on Riddell.
Yeah, I think Rupo will most probably be a little bit too strong in this one. Again, they've been one of the form teams of the whole.
Very young B grade team as well.
They are, but you look at some of those girls. I think Lachey Hogan's in that team. He's an absolute superstar. You know, they've got talent everywhere, and I just think they might be just a little bit too strong through the midcourt for Riddell this week. Oh, sorry, for Macedon. Oh, Riddell. Yeah,
Riddle. Of course. No, we're about to talk about Macedon. It's quite fair enough that you get confused because.
So I just think that Rupo have been the standout team again. You know, and you've got to pay tribute to their netball program when they get 3 teams in the grand final.
Oh, exactly right, and the 4th through as far as the preliminary final, and of course a very strong under program as well.
But you can say that about Riddell and Macedon too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so
Riddell have got 3 teams through as well. They've got just as many as Rupert's Wood. Macedon have got 2 and had a couple that fell at the final hurdle.
Yeah, so these 3 clubs have been the leaders in our netball programs over the last couple of years, really.
Quite fitting then that our Western Water A grade grand final this year will be, as it was last year, Riddell taking on Macedon at the show court at Romsey. I tell you, if you have never experienced an A grade netball grand final at Romsey Park, get down there and have a look at this one, because with the stands that are put in place for the day, it feels like you're sitting right on top of the players. It's almost a cauldron-like atmosphere in there. It's absolutely fantastic, Kimmy.
It is. It's one of the great venues we have in our league. I've been a little bit panicky, to tell you the truth, because we know that can be a slippery court when it's wet. So I've had a look at the weather forecast, and we're tipping a cold but dry day.
Yes,
that's so we've got the super soakers ready to go and clean up the court a bit and get the water off it, and hopefully it'll stay dry by the time we get to the A grade game. And it should be a fantastic event. As many people as possible around. Both Big Riddell have their boys in as well. So their crowd will be massive, and
we know that Macedon's crowd travels.
Yep, they've got the travelling crowd. It's fantastic. So the atmosphere will be electric.
Before we get on to our tips for the big game, we're going to go out, as we said off the top of the show, to the experts, really, to the people that will be participating in this game. Earlier in the week, we caught up with representatives from both of these teams, Macedon coach Ciara Stewart, and of course Riddell's captain and gun player Lauren Close, to get their views on what will happen this week. Let's have a listen to the stars of the grand final. We're back here with the first of our grand final coach interviews ahead of this weekend's huge Western Water A-grade grand final. Joining us is Macedon coach Ciara Stewart. Welcome to the Netball Show, finally.
Thank you. It's great to be here, and especially the week before finals.
Exactly right. And of course, not just the Macedon A-grade coach, but also the 2016 Ryan Medalist. Congratulations on, I suppose, recognition for what's been a fantastic season.
Yeah, thank you. It was a very, very big surprise. I'm honoured to have it. It was really exciting, and I didn't really celebrate it until we won on Sunday. So now I actually feel like it's something I've earned. So I'm really happy to have it. I haven't had an award for so long, so it's one I definitely will look after.
Tell us a little bit about Sunday's game, obviously, to get into the grand final this week, taking on Rupert's Wood, who probably started as favourites by virtue of their season record, but in the end it was a fairly comfortable win.
Yeah, we watched the show and heard that both of you tipped Rupert's Wood and not us.
That's good.
From the show last week, actually hearing that it would have been an all Rupo-Riddell final really spurred us on a little bit more. It sounds funny to say that, but it really did. That was in my speech before the game. We can't have an all Riddell-Rupo final. So when Macedon under-19s won that game, I felt the pressure completely off my shoulders.
Beautifully.
Yeah, and then so we just played like we did every other week. There was no pressure on us. We knew how much pressure Rupo had on them, unfortunately, having bowed out of a grand final. So I think that is what gave us the good start, and we maintained it. And At the last 5 minutes, I was just counting down the clock. I couldn't wait for it to finish. I just wanted it over. And when that siren went...
Interesting to see how much influence you and I have over
this. Yes, that's what I was going to say. People are watching the netball show and it's making a difference, Kimmy.
But young girls really stood up. Tara Burnett, I was really impressed. When I've seen her play, she's got so much talent, and sometimes it looks like she's going half pace, and she had a really tough 19 game where she hit the deck.
Yeah,
We're a little bit worried about her health, her injuries going into the game on Saturday.
She's really tough. When she fell, that was a pretty big fall.
Yeah,
it was a pretty big fall, and I just thought, if I ignore it, I'll pretend it didn't happen, and that's sort of what I did.
Yeah.
And she had enough time to recover from 19s before A grade. She didn't complain, didn't even mention the fact that she was sore, and just played the game as if it was any other week. She did not even let on until after the game. You could see she was quite sore.
I was surprised that she dished off a lot of goals, especially close to the post. Is that something you guys have planned, or she was just not feeling as confident with the pressure applying from the defenders?
No, we've been working on that the last 2 weeks, her range. And we've got big plans for her over the pre-season and over the break about extending that range, but we've worked out to the millimetre what her perfect range is. But in saying that, she had a shot on the siren, or after the siren, I think it was at half-time, and it was a long bomb. And she even let out a few choice words about taking the shot, and it went in. So she does have a bigger range. It's just we know where her complete 100% comfortable range is. And so dishing off some of those passes was just about getting it in the perfect position. And we wanted to mix it up, so it wasn't throw to the tall girl and then just shoot. We wanted to try something new. And when Chloe and I play in there, it's a faster, quick combination, and we make sure we have a sure thing with the shot. So that's what we wanted to do.
I think that how Rupes would set up their defence with a box, wall to a box, and they continue to do it, but that gave you the luxury of being able to do that long bomb into her, which seemed to work really well.
Yeah, and we'd been working on Chloe, what she does whenever a box is set up, because that is our weakness, the box. So we'd worked a lot on what Chloe needs to do if they go to that strategy. And I suppose having me out on the wing, I'm not super fast, but I'm clever. So I felt like I could draw away some defenders with some fake passes, and that opened Tara up as well. And even Chloe for a few high ones as well. So, Tara even took some front holds, which she doesn't often take. So we've been working on it not just being about the high ball, even though that's something she's very good at. We're just working on bringing something new to the game.
Tell us about the last time you met Riddell, and what was the score, if you can remember it, and what you think you need to do to beat them.
I thought we went down by 7, but I'm not sure if it was 7 or 9. But we won 3/4 of the game. The third quarter we let it slip, and I think they got a 17-8 run on us, and that's where they won the game. Plain and simple. We've been talking about strategies, what happens when that happens, when a run starts to happen on us. Clearly Lauren had been told to come off the body on Tara, and I think that through Tara, she didn't really know what to do, and Chloe didn't know how to counteract her style to work with that. But we're prepared. We know what's coming. Having played Riddell twice and been close games, a 1-goal loss and then the 7-goal loss, we know what we're up against. But lucky for us, we've got a lot of combinations, and I believe we've got a fast lineup we can go to, and we've got a steady lineup we can go to. The problem was last time we met them, we didn't make the changes early enough when we needed to.
And that's what I was impressed about on Saturday's game. The depth that you had in your team and the consistency, you could make the changes, and it was seamless. You didn't lose anything from anywhere on the court with the changes you made.
No, and I think the problem with clubs like Rupa and Riddell having a bench of 12, they've got 12 very good players, and so when something's not working, you tend to make changes straight away. And you would have seen that on the weekend. Rupo made a lot of changes throughout the game, and obviously they were strategic, they weren't injury changes. And sometimes I think the fact that we've got a smaller group of players, we know what we can. We persist with some players, and we see it through. I mean, Chelsea came off early in the third, but she came off because she was tired.
Oh, she was sensational too. Yeah, she just ran the whole time. Long ball to the pocket. Yeah. Really good elevation as well, which was a real strength, and she fed from circle edge, which was perfect.
And our girls are starting to, especially our younger girls, everyone's starting to learn when it's at the point where they need to call it. Whereas I think earlier in the season, even a year ago, they just kept persisting. They knew it was them, but they just kept going and going and waited to the quarter time break to say I need to come off. Whereas with the quick 30-second injury time, these players are able to go, okay, I need a break. And Chelsea said at 3/4 time, I'm ready to come back on if you need me. For the last quarter, but Hayley was an easy replacement, so we didn't need to use her.
Yeah.
And 2 players sat on the 3 players sat on the bench and didn't get on the court.
One of the players that really impressed me was Janelle Birch. What taller than I actually thought she was going to be. And so I think when I watched you early in the season, she didn't play against Rupo. And I was concerned about the height of your defensive circle, but really tall girl, great leap, really nice 3 feet. She'll most probably line up against either Chris Harris or maybe Alan Close. Have they matched up on them before? Has she matched up on either of those girls?
Yeah. The thing about Janelle is she's really flown under the radar this year.
She has.
She's played every single game this season. She hasn't missed a single game, but she just hasn't been noticed. But we notice her. We definitely notice her because without Janelle on the court, we have that little hole because what she brings as our captain and as such a good player. Her and Holly back in defence, tall and skinny but massive long arms, and so it's very deceiving.
And she's, on my point of view, I love a goal defence that drives down the middle of the court, and she does that and rips it open and commands that. So really great strength to have. Yeah,
we've worked again a lot on that over the past year and a half, I'd say. Janelle and I play together more than just the one night a week, and that helps because it's the connection between her and I that we've really tried to work on. And Janelle can keep going and going and going. She's never tired. Never tired. Yeah, so, and that helps. And she's been great down there with Holly. Holly hasn't played at an A-grade level before, so Janelle's experience, and it's not, she's only been playing at a decent level for about 4 years, so not very long, but her experience means everything for Holly. She talks Holly through everything, and I think we're underestimated about the height we have because we don't have a team of 10, 12 tall girls, and I think it's the arm span of our defenders. Holly, Alicia, Janelle, that's what you can't tell by looking at them, but they've got very long arms.
Well, what a season you've had. Not only Ryan Medalist made the grand final, but you're also named Coach of the Year and also named in the Team of the Year. As a wing attack, which most of the coaches voted for you as a wing attack, how does that make you feel, first year?
Yeah, unbelievable. I think, the greatest part for me is the wing attack position, because that's something I've just moved into this year, and I know, I'm not super fast like these 18-year-olds, but I know I've got the brain, and I've always had the brain, just not the legs. But the legs are starting to come since I've fixed a back injury, and I'm actually surprised that I can run like I run. And so that's the one overall. That's the one I cherish the most. I really do, because I think I've worked really hard on that. In regards to the Ryan medal, I mean, that's amazing. I was just waiting for me to fade out after round 5. I thought, I'll make the top 10. I'll just fade out here. And so when I didn't, I was very surprised. And the girls just sat there banging me. That's very still you. So
very consistent voting right through the year.
Oh yeah, well it's really flattering and really nice, especially in this competition, and one that I plan to stay in. So yeah.
What do you plan to do this weekend, Ciara, to have this trophy that's been kind of obscuring my face on the camera throughout the thing, thankfully, given my company? What do you need to do to make this yours to keep forever?
4 consistent quarters. Any time we played Rupo or Riddell, the top 2 sides, it's been about being consistent for the whole game. And we know that that's all it takes. There's no magic solution to what we need to do. There's no, if only we have this and that. If only we grew 5 more feet. That's not going to happen. We just need to be consistent. Clearly, we have to be smarter when feeding the ball into our goal ring, because Lauren is a very good defender with great closing speed. But we got to see that when we played them in the first final. So we're aware of that now, and we've got options. And I think, obviously, Beck back in goal shooter, we need to do a bit more work on shutting her down, but more importantly, shutting down the feed to Beck. And we have 3 wing defences in our lineup that's their main position. So we do have options, and I think we maybe need to explore them a little bit more throughout the game, because, as you know, we don't have the height on the very tall wing attack, but we certainly have the one-on-one style of defence that our girls can just run with for the whole game. So I think 4 consistent quarters, and the need and the want and the drive. And as I've said all year, we're a really good team. So there's no holes within the team of 9, 10, 11 girls that we have with us this week. And the fact that we've got that is, I think, putting us in the best position to come out and put out a really good game and hopefully walk away with the trophy.
And I think what you just said before too, and out on the weekend, you're a really good team. So while some teams have a team of champions, a champion team can overcome a team of champions, and I think that's what we saw the other day. You have some absolute stars in your team, there's no doubt about that, but your teamwork and how you supported each other and backed each other up, to me, was one of the standout features of the game. So you should be very pleased with what you've done with those girls.
Thank you. And I think, like, all those girls, every single one of them, we train every week together in Macedon. Like, even Alicia drives from Warden Pines past Geelong to come to training every single week. There's no exceptions. Every girl turns up to training. VNL, not VNL, mother, not mother. We all have to train. And that was the key to securing these players at the start of the year. It had to be, we're all in or we're not in. And hopefully that's what's going to get us through Sunday.
Well, absolute best of luck for Sunday. We can't wait for the day to come around and to see you girls on the court taking on in the grand final. And here's hoping, we're going to say the same to Lauren later on, but here's hoping that you're the one that's taking this cup away come Sunday afternoon and probably filling this with some sort of liquid at some stage during the night.
A good Powerade would be great.
I reckon a good Powerade would go in there. So, Ciara, absolute best of luck for the weekend. We look forward to seeing it play out. And yeah, again, here's hoping this is yours.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you to Ciara Stewart, the coach of the Macedon Netball Club A-grade team. We're going to also cross over now, catch up with one of Ciara's counterparts from the weekend, Riddell captain, Lauren Close. Ciara Stewart from the Macedon Footy Club. We've now turned our allegiances towards their opponents on the weekend, the Riddell Football Netball Club. And joining us is last year's Premiership coach and this year's Riddell captain, Lauren Close. Lauren, welcome to the Netball Show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Making sure this just doesn't obscure everyone's view of you at the moment. You're quite familiar with these things, of course, having won one last year. How does this year compare to 12 months ago in the lead up to last year's grand final?
Oh, look, for me personally, very different. I was out most of last season with recovering from my knee reconstruction. So this year, for me personally, it's been really good to be able to play with the girls the whole way through the season. Or despite doing my ankle, but that's a whole nother story.
That's neither here nor there.
Look, I think this year we've got a really good group of girls. Not that we didn't last year, but I think just building with the same group of girls all the way through has really helped us get to where we need to be for Sunday.
And your role obviously changed a little bit this year. Jared Walker's come in to coach the side this year, and you can just really focus more on the on-court kind of thing. Is that what you prefer?
Definitely. I really struggled last year towards the end of the season, especially moving into finals. And when I was back on the court, I found it really difficult to be able to coach the girls. I was out of breath half the time when the quarters were over. So Jared actually came along to finals and helped us out. So thank goodness he decided to continue on with us this year.
Yep.
And it's credit to him to where we are today.
Okay, yeah. So a little bit different structure this year, because last year you had a girl who you're competing with up the other end in a blue and white and pink dress. This year she's on your side, Beck Corwell. That saves you a lot of headaches, doesn't it?
It does. Look, last year our main focus was to shut Beck down. So this year, it's great having her on our team, which is really nice. It's one less headache that I have to worry about, but taking absolutely nothing away from what Macedon have in that circle as well.
Yeah, so we have young Tara Burnett, and she's been, on the weekend, she was sensational against the Rupo defenders, really strong, got knocked around a little bit in the 19s, but stood up. What's your plan to tackle her?
I don't want to give away too much, Kim. Look, I think we'll play basically the same game we played against them in the first final. I think, we need to shut her down. It is like playing on Beck. It is that tall target that we need to shut down. And, when they don't score goals, we get the turnover and send it back down our end.
So you played off the body a little bit more, planning to do the same?
Yeah, I think I'll play a bit of a mixture, mix it up a little bit, so a little bit more unpredictable. I think sometimes my game can be really quite predictable. And I guess just coming out and attacking the ball.
Yeah, so Sarah King has been great for you guys. She'll start out at GD. Chloe Wilson has been really good during the season. But you had the wood on her last game, and she actually come out of goals. What do you need to do to close her down?
Look, I think Ciara, again, has come such a long way. She's been playing in under-19s at VNL level for Burundara, and I think we've made a really good connection. She listens really well. I'm a big talker on the court, so I think that connection's worked really well. Shutting down the goal attack is the key, so I can go one-on-one with the goal shooter in there. She'll just need to, lift her work rate and make sure that she gets the job done. Chelsea
Kemp was an absolute spitfire on the weekend. She was darting everywhere. I'm really looking forward to that match-up with her and Taryn Munro. How do you see that playing out?
Oh, it's going to go right down to the last wire. I think they both play very similar games, and like I said, it will go down to the last whistle.
Yeah. And some of your young kids have been exceptional. I've been really impressed with Brianna DeHaas, who won the Under-19s Best and Fairest. She's playing in the Alma 17s team well and got some really good feedback. She was a revelation the other day.
She was fantastic. You know, her driving out of defence, her one-on-one pressure is just fantastic. So, you know, we lost Mika due to injury throughout the year, so, and Bree's really stepped up into that position to be able to fill that gap when we need it.
Yeah, and the goal attack position, you've got a little bit of variety there. You've got Alan or you've got Chris.
Yeah.
Both very different players. How do you see them matching up, and who do you think will go to Janelle?
Oh, look, I think we'll probably mix it up a little bit. You know, Christine plays a really strong shooting game, and Alan's more of a mover. So depending on what Macedon throw at us at the day, I think we can adjust really well, and we've got that depth to be able to go from, you know, Beck, who is the tall target in there, to a moving circle back to Beck. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we'll just see what Macedon throw at us on the day.
I love, and Shaun will attest to this, I love tall wingers.
Very much so.
I love them.
I think we've got the tallest in the world.
She is an absolute gun.
When
I first saw her, when I saw Carly Harrison, I thought to myself, oh, can this girl move or not? But she's phenomenal in that position. You can swing her into the centre if you have to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, she's one of the tallest wing attacks I've ever come across in my whole life. She moves the ball so well. Her speed onto the circle is fantastic. It's really good to have such a dynamic player, being able to play through the midcourt and also into wing attack. I think when we stand around in the circle, I'm one of the shortest, which has never happened before. So we've got quite a tall team, which is really good.
Yeah, so it gives you, with such a tall wing attack, gives you that versatility to drop it into the pocket quite easily.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we still have to be careful of the goalkeeper coming out to hunt the ball because it hasn't come off sometimes during the season. But, you know, she's really dynamic and really agile. So, you know, for a tall person, full credit to her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
It's fantastic.
And she was lucky enough to be awarded the Rising Star Award, and very much well deserved, I think.
Very well deserved. You know, she's absolutely come out of the blocks this season for us. So, yeah, lovely having her on our team.
What's the key to winning?
Oh, look, I think if we do the basics well, if we capitalise on our turnovers, which we haven't been doing a lot of this season, you know, we start to build up a margin, and then we sort of put our foot off the pedal and let other teams come back in. You know, it's a grand final, there's no second chances anymore, so we have to really, if we get in front, put our foot down and keep moving.
Were you surprised at the margin, and were you surprised to be playing Macedon? Did you think Rupo... I personally thought Rupo was most probably the team to beat this season, so I was a little bit surprised. But these things happen in finals, were you?
Look, I think Macedon or Rupo, we weren't really sure who was going to get through. They both play really different games. I think Macedon are quite smart in the way that they play, whereas Rupo's got that really quick, fast game. Again, Rupo were missing a few players on the weekend, so... you know, it was a little bit hard for them, but look, it is what it is, and it's finals, and bring it on Sunday.
Well, good luck, Loz.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Have an awesome season. Also, the MVP for the RDFNL this year, and also named in Team of the Year. So, runner-up Best and Fairest as well.
Thank you very much.
After missing a few games with that horrible ankle injury, but good luck. We'll wish you well, and I'm sure it's going to be an absolute cracker of a game.
Thank you very much.
We said the same to Ciara before. We hope that this cup goes into your ownership on Sunday night, Loz. Very best of luck, as Kim just said, for the weekend, and hopefully for you guys, it's back-to-back celebrations.
Yes, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed I'll be taking this one home.
Lauren Close, the captain of the Riddell A-grade side. Let's cross back into the studio, Kimmy, because I think it's time to give our tips for the big game.
I think so.
Ciara Stewart and Lauren Close from Macedon and Riddell. Fair to say these girls are fairly excited about this game.
Oh, as you would be. There's nothing better. You work so hard all year to get to this stage, and they're there. And it's the best feeling to win a grand final with the girls that you fought with for the whole year. So anyone would be excited. It's really good. Now,
the big question, Kimmy, Riddell have been top two all season, of course. Reigning premiers, have had another fantastic season this year. But Macedon, as you heard from Ciara before, they're committed, they're together, they're a really cohesive unit. Can they do what they didn't do last year and knock over Riddell in this game?
I don't think they can. Cara said before that, you know, we tipped against them and that was a real spur for them. So
yes.
I just don't think they can. Interesting to see Beck Caldwell in different colours this year. She was lining up in the goal shooter position for the Cats last year.
Yep.
And now she's in the Bomber colours this year. So she's going to be really, really important for them to stop. Whether they can stop her or not, I don't know. I'm a little bit suspect whether they can. I think that Holly Burnett mightn't have enough experience over Beck. She was named another player that was named in the Div 1 VNL Team of the Year. She had an awesome season. Might have to drop Janelle Birch back on her to try and close that down. But up the other end, it's really interesting between Lozzie and Chloe Wilson. That'd be a really interesting contest. I think Loz had the wool over Chloe last time they played. And
Ciara said as much earlier when we spoke to her.
And so she actually got taken off, and I think that's the spur that she most probably needed. Like, she was awesome on the weekend, last weekend, just driving into the ring, really nice, hard to find front cuts in front of the defenders, closing off the space. So it'll be really interesting. I'm also looking forward to the battle of Chelsea Kemp and Taryn Munro in the mid-court as well. You know, both of these players are so quick. They're like lightning, and the feeds are beautiful. Riddell have got the luxury they can bring a number of players on, but Kaylee Armstrong, who was in the Team of the Year as well, and Carly Harrison, you know, she
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year, and a nice tall wing attack which I love, and she just provides that extra height. It's going to be a really close game, but I just think that the experience that Riddell have, most probably up the bookends in particular, I think that's going to get them over the line, Shaun.
The final word from our netball expert, Kimmy Bailey. Riddell to win yet another grand final in the A-grade competition.
I think that. Come on.
I'm going with Riddell as well. I just think they've been the standout team all year. They've been here. They've done it on the big stage. They've got some experience at both ends of the court, and they've kind of been the untouchables all year. I think Macedon, as you heard before, they're going to really give this a red-hot crack, and I reckon this will be down the mid-stages of the last quarter until Riddell pull away from it.
Look, I think it'll be a game. I don't think it'll be a blowout. The weather could have a bit of an impact on it because, especially if it slows the mid-quarters down, and it'll really make it a defensive game. But can't wait.
Okay, it'll be a fantastic day. We'll both be there on Sunday, so make sure you come up and say g'day and tell us if you like the netball show, or tell us if you hated it as well. We like all sorts of feedback, and it's something we can work on, because hopefully, touch wood, we'll be back again with the netball show next year. You will be, of course. I've got to obviously negotiate my way back onto the netball show next year, but that's something that we can talk about over the off-season. But I can tell you it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you the netball show this season. A new initiative, one of Kim's initiatives, I must say, and a fantastic initiative it was, Kimmy. Thank you so much for all of your input, making this netball show so fantastic throughout the course of this year.
Yeah, I love it. It's my home league too, and, you know, I know a lot of the girls, so it's really interesting to me. I just want to take the opportunity to thank all the supporters, all the players, the coaches, administrators this year to making our league what it is. And it's most probably one of the strongest in our top teams are the strongest around the state. So congratulations. Just a reminder that if the premiers, they will be given a plaque to enter into the Champions Challenge in March, I think it is, at Netball Victoria. And it's the premiers of all the football netball leagues in the state play off against each other in a tournament one Sunday.
We're going to find out the ultimate premier.
So who's the best in the state? So either Riddell or Macedon, hopefully they'll be representing the RDFL.
Well, let's hope so, because it will be a great game on Sunday, there's no doubt about it. We're going to sign off for the final time this year on the RDFL Netball Show. Once again, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing this to you on a monthly basis, and then, of course, during the finals on a weekly basis as well. The sun will come up on Monday morning, and as sure as shooting, there'll be an RDFL Netball Show in 2017. I'm 99% sure of that. Whether I'm on it will remain to be seen. Kim Bailey will definitely be here.
Maybe.
But it'll be back. Don't you worry about that. Thank you for joining us throughout 2016. See you on Sunday at Romsey Park.